Okay, the guest of this month is Alvaro, a German liberal colleague of mine. We have worked together with parliamentary reforms for several years. Alex was the rapporteur of the opinion of the Libe Committee, which is the Civil Rights Committee of the European Parliament, about weapons directive. So maybe, Alex, you could tell us something about this weapons directive. What is the beef?
Well, in fact, the weapons directive itself is dealing with the illicit trafficking and dealing of weapons within Europe. So what we're trying to do is to make sure that no weapon is brought illegally from one country into another. It's about protecting people, and it is, in fact, also that we are trying to convert an UN protocol into European law also.
Yes. So the idea is that in a single market also guns and weapons should be securely able to move freely in Europe, yeah, for those who have the right to access.
That's the issue. I mean, we're trying just to make sure that there's no illegal trafficking, so all the legal things we're trying to regulate in a certain way. There's now going to be a common marking of weapons, so we actually know where they come from. And what we are changing, because it's not fact in the European Union right now, is that everybody needs a license to buy a weapon.
Yes.
There are some countries where you don't need a license to buy a weapon.
Okay.
That's what we're going to change, because we believe, I mean, a weapon is a dangerous thing, and you should have a license to buy one.
Yeah.
And what we're also going to change is that everybody who buys a weapon will be registered, because that's common in the most countries, but again, we have some countries where you are not registered when you buy a weapon, yeah. So we don't know if a weapon is used in a crime, who did it belong to, was it stolen, was it illegal,
yeah,
and so on.
It sounds very reasonable, yeah, indeed, that we would have a harmonized system of registering and licensing weapons. The fear some organizations in Finland, especially hunters, oh, yeah, and also sports shooters, have had in Finland is that there are also some new age limits set by the German Green rapporteur. Oh, yeah. Mrs. Gisela Gallenbach, so that the age limit to use weapons independently for young hunters or young sport shooters would be 18 years. Yeah. What do you think about this? Or is it a fear, or is it a big debate in Germany?
Well, in fact, it's not such a big debate in Germany. I must admit, we even had a different debate now, because for sport shooters, the age for certain weapons was 21, and our interior minister wanted to lower it to 18, and there was a huge fight about that, because everybody said it's impossible, you can't do that, so he had to step back. So it's still at 21. But we know about the situation in Finland, that you are allowed, I think, at 15 years, yes, for, yes, hunting purposes and, yes, so on.
If your parents allow your...
Right. So what we did now is Mrs. Kallenbach truly said, okay, 18 years. And then we had discussions with the hunters and with sports people. So we said, for hunters and sports people, there's going to be the exemption, you can be 16. So okay, there's a slight change to Finland, okay, but yes, it's because in the most European countries it's 18, it's sort of a compromise to say, okay, 16 is the exemption.
Okay. So it sounds also at least the better direction, because 18 would have been quite difficult, yeah, to junior sports and hunting. True. In Finland. It's very common in Finland that young kids already get their hunting license when they are 12 or 13. Wow. But of course they can't own their gun at, okay, that point. But when they are 15, they independently go to hunt some, forest animals. And
you do have a lot,
yes,
of hunters in Finland,
yes,
right?
We have quite many of them, and
okay,
most of them are very responsible, yeah, in handling their weapons. So probably
that's
those youngsters who learn with a very early age how to use their firearms, yeah, they are very responsible, and I don't think they create any problem in Finland.
No,
but it was very good to hear that there will be probably a compromise.
No, well, as far as we know on that one, there will be the exemption, but now the Portuguese presidency has the issue on the table. We were actually to vote about it this week, yeah, but then the Portuguese said they need more time to think about certain issues like the central registration of, yeah, of people buying weapons. But no, we had to take into account especially the issues like in Finland or in Sweden, where you have a different tradition, yeah, on weapons and hunting than in other countries. And I hope now we found a way to like make it not complicated for everybody, more easier maybe.
Okay, this sounds great. I wish you a very nice last day of this session today, and we will come back to Strasbourg again in the end of September. So thank you, Alex.
Thank you very much, Piia.